Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. I'm Hasham. So in this video I'm going to explain you about the tax-free perquisite. Last video I have explained you about those perquisites which are taxable only in specified cases. And in this video, last video for perquisite, tax-free perquisite. See, the problems which we are going to do afterwards on computation of income from salary, it's a comprehensive problem. It will contain all the provisions whatever we have discussed so far regarding allowances, perquisites, profit in lieu of salary combined together. So until and unless you are perfect on all the provisions, you cannot be able to solve the problem on income from salary. That is the reason why you must have the patience to watch these videos carefully with interest. Then you don't find any difficulty while solving the problem. So in examination, a theory question may be asked, give some 10 examples of income perquisites which are completely tax-free. It may be given. Otherwise, these points will come whenever we do the problem. Some perquisites will be given. You must be in a position to decide whether it is taxable or tax-free. What are the rules regarding valuation? So you must have the perfect knowledge on these perquisites. So now I am going to start the examples of those perquisites which are completely tax-free. So before explaining, take a screenshot of the points which I have written on the board. Come on, tax-free perquisites. First of all, expenditure on food. Sometimes employer will spend some expenditure on food to the employees. So when it is exempted, when it is taxable, here examples are given. Free refreshments supplied. Refreshments like tea, coffee, cool drinks, etc. So these are the refreshments which are provided by the employer to the employee during business hours and within business premises. Two conditions. The refreshment should be provided by employer to employee within the business premises and during the business hours. Then it is a tax-free perquisite. It is a tax-free perquisite. If the refreshments are given outside the business premises or out of the working hours, that means the working hours from 9 to 5, the refreshments are given after 5 o'clock, it will become taxable. So two conditions: within the business premises and during business hours. Then free meals. Meals means lunch or dinner. If free meals provided by the employer during business hours and in the business premises, if the value of each meal is less than 50, the amount is fixed by Income Tax Act. If free meals are provided by employer to employee during business hours within business premises and if the cost of each meal is only up to 50, it is tax-free. If it is provided more than 50, the excess will be taxable. If it is provided for more than 50, the excess amount will be taxable. Then free meals provided by employer during office hours through paid vouchers. The meals are provided through paid vouchers, then which are non-transferable. If the cost of each voucher is 50 rupees, not more than 50, it is tax-free. If it is more than 50, the excess will become taxable. Then free meals provided by employer during working hours in a remote area or an offshore site. Sometimes the employees are sent to a remote area or an offshore site. At that time, the free meals provided to the employees are tax-free. Then free meals provided by employer when the employee is on official tour. When the employee is sent on official tour, then he is provided free meals because he is on tour. So in that case, the free meals given to an employee who on official tour is a tax-free perquisite. Subsidized lunch or dinner provided by the employer. Many cases we can see the canteens are maintained by the employer where subsidized food are given to the employees. In that case, whatever subsidy the employees are receiving, that's a tax-free perquisite. So these are the cases of expenditure on food. So you can remember by listening this lecture, by watching it with interest, these points will be in your mind. In examination you can write. Otherwise in problems also these points will come. So you will be in a position to say whether it is tax-free or taxable. Next comes educational facilities. If the employer pays or reimburses fees for the studies of employee, then it becomes tax-free perquisite. The employee is pursuing some studies and the payment of fees is paid or reimbursed by the employer, it's a tax-free perquisite. It's a tax-free because the education is being obtained by the employee only. Then cost of refresher course attended by the employee and the employer makes the payment. Refresher courses like new training courses, etc. So for this cost of refresher courses paid by the employer, it's a tax-free perquisite in the hands of the employee. Then scholarships given to the children or members of the employees on merit basis or economic criteria are tax-free perquisite. Sometimes employers will give scholarship to the children of the employee either on economic grounds or on merit basis. The scholarship received is also tax-free perquisite. When the employer provides free education to the children of the employee in an educational institution run by the employer is a tax-free perquisite if the cost per student is less than 1000 rupees per month. Suppose if the school is run by the employer is maintaining the educational institution to provide education to the children of employees. If the cost per student comes to up to 1000 rupees, it is tax-free perquisite. Then rent-free accommodation. So we have completed some tax-free perquisite on account of food expenditure and some on education. Now third one we are discussing about rent-free accommodation. So rent-free accommodation provided to employee in a remote area. Last video we have discussed in detail regarding RFA, rent-free accommodation. One of the point where the employee is sent to a remote area and their rent-free accommodation is given, it is completely tax-free because he has been sent to a remote area. Then RFA provided for less than 15 days in a hotel if the employee is transferred from one place to another place. This point also we have covered in the last video. If an employee is sent from one place to another place and stay in a hotel for less than 15 days, then also it's a tax-free perquisite. Then rent-free official residence provided to judges of High Court and Supreme Court. High Court and Supreme Court judges will be provided residence, rent-free residence, official residence. That is a tax-free perquisite. Now, medical facilities. Already we have most of the points we have covered in the last video. Medical facilities. Treatment in hospital maintained by the employer to the employees or any family member is a tax-free perquisite. The hospital is maintained by the employer. The company has maintaining one hospital, keeping all medicines, doctors ready for the treatment of employees or their family members. Then it's a perquisite in the hands of employee. Income Tax Act says it's a tax-free perquisite because hospital is run by the employer, meant for providing medical facilities to the employees and their children. Then the employer pays for the treatment of employees or their family members in the hospital maintained by the government or hospitals approved by the government is a tax-free perquisite. So employer pays medical expenditure on treatment in a government hospital or government approved hospital. Then expenditure incurred by the employer is a tax-free perquisite. Next one, reimbursement of medical expense incurred in employee in a recognized hospital in India. Income Tax Act has given the list of hospitals which are recognized. So if any expenditure is incurred or reimbursed by the employer incurred in a recognized hospital for the treatment of employee or their family members is a tax-free. Unrecognized hospital. If the expenditure is incurred in an unrecognized hospital and reimbursement is made by the employer, it is fully taxable. So recognized, tax-free, unrecognized, fully taxed. Any sum paid by the employer in respect of expenditure incurred by an employee or his family member, medical treatment in respect of prescribed diseases in any hospital approved by CIT, Chief Commissioner of Income Tax, is tax-free perquisite. Any expenditure paid or reimbursed by the employer on the treatment of employee or their family members of specified diseases like cancer, AIDS, TB, etc. A list has been given by Income Tax Act. The employee or family member are suffering from the disease and getting the treatment in a hospital approved by CIT, Chief Commissioner of Income Tax. Then expenditure incurred or reimbursed by the employer is a tax-free perquisite. If the employer pays medical expense directly to the hospital for the treatment of employee or his family member in a private nursing home in the respect of specified diseases as prescribed by IT rules, is a tax-free perquisite. If the employer pays directly medical bill to the hospital for the treatment of employee or their family members getting treatment in a private nursing home suffering from a prescribed list of diseases. So if the employee or their family members suffering from specified disease getting the treatment in a private nursing home and the employer directly making the payment to the hospital, it's a tax-free perquisite. That's all. So I have explained the tax-free perquisites about medical facilities. Now miscellaneous other tax-free perquisites are also there. Example, free recreational facility provided to employees by the employer. Some gym is maintained, swimming pool is maintained, or some library is maintained. Recreational facilities are provided by the employer to the employees. Employees are getting the benefit of these facilities. Income Tax Act says tax-free. Next one, payment of residence telephone bill or cell phone bill of the employee paid by the employer. The residence telephone, this is important. In the coming problems, you will come across this point. If the telephone bill or cell phone bill of the residence of the employee paid by the employer is a tax-free perquisite. Next one, interest-free loan or loans taken at concessional rate given by the employer if the loan amount is not exceeding 20,000. Last video I have explained. Interest-free loan or loan given at concessional rate by the employer to the employee if the aggregate of all the loans are not exceeding 20,000 are called petty loans. So petty loans given by the employer to employee, interest-free or concessional rate of interest, it's a tax-free perquisite. Next one, if the employer has given a loan for medical treatment in respect of disease specified in Rule 3A of the IT Act. Sometimes the employer has given a loan to the employee for medical treatment of employee or their family members according to Rule 3A of the Act. It's a tax-free perquisite. Next, free gifts given by the employer to an employee or his family member on ceremonial occasion up to 5,000. Gifts given by the employer to the employee or family members on ceremonial occasions. Ceremonial occasions like birthday, marriage day or annual day celebration or a particular celebration day, ceremonial occasion. So gift given up to 5,000 rupees exempted. Then employer providing laptop, computer for official or personal purpose to an employee. Many a times the employer will provide laptop or computer for official and personal use to the employees. It's a tax-free perquisite. Goods which are manufactured by the employer and sold to an employer at concessional rate. Sometimes goods are manufactured by the employer and these goods are sold to the employees at a concessional rate. The employees are getting the benefit. Income Tax Act says tax-free perquisite. Last one, perquisites to government employees working in foreign countries. Already in the previous video we discussed. Allowances and perquisites given to government employees who are working abroad. Completely tax-free perquisite. That's all. So in this video I have explained you the examples of perquisites which are completely tax-free. So remember, in examination you may get a theory question right. Give some 10 examples of perquisites which are tax-free. So if you have listened this lecture, watch this video, definitely you can be able to easily write 10 perquisites. Otherwise, these points will come while doing the problems on salary. Every now and then perquisites value will come. So you should be in a position to say whether it is taxable or tax-free. Inshallah, we'll take up the next topic called profit in lieu of salary in the next video.